Hi everyone, Angus MacKenzie from MotorTrend here with my good buddy Jonny Lieberman. And we're about to try something new, something called Stump MotorTrend. And the idea is really simple. It's actually the sort of thing we usually do when we're sitting around having a few drinks late at night at Car of the Year or something like that. But we start asking each other silly questions about cars to see if we can catch someone out. So format's fairly relaxed, and we're not doing it after cocktails because it's morning time where you are, Jonny.
10:09 a.m. I mean, I think in the era of quarantine, there is no morning, but I'm sticking with coffee.
Okay, well, I've got a cocktail waiting once I finish here because it's past 6 in the evening on a Friday. So simple format. We've got 3 rounds. The first round is a group questions that have been set by our colleagues. You and I are going to have to struggle to answer them. And then we go into what's called an individual challenge round, where I'll ask you 3 questions set again by our colleagues, and you'll ask me 3 questions. This is in round 3. Round 3 is the Grudge Match. This is where I get to ask you questions that I've made up all by myself, and I guess you do the same to me.
I made up 2. Yeah, my question is, what do we win? Like, if I beat you, what do I get?
The glory, I think, mate. Glory. All right, let's start round 1. Round 1. This is where you and I got to work together on this.
What was Jeep's first pickup truck?
Well, clearly it's not the one that's out now.
Well, there was a Jeep Gladiator, though. There was an old Jeep Gladiator, but I think it's the Jeepster. I'm not 100% positive, but I think...
Or is it the CJ10?
What year was that? Because I think the Jeepster was the 50s.
Jeepster was the 50s. Actually, yes, I think you're right. I think because the Jeepster could be built in a whole bunch of body styles. You've got the Roadster, the Convert. Yes, it could be built as a truck. Yeah, I reckon you're right. I think it was the Jeepster because they built about 4 or 5 different body styles of the Jeepster.
Yeah, I think. I don't know how to... Yeah, so is that our answer, Jeepster?
Yeah, Jeepster.
Jeepster.
Oh.
Forward control. All right.
Well, forward control. Okay, so yes, I remember that now on just a regular Jeep platform, but they put the cab out front. Apparently, it's very, very slow and very uncomfortable.
All right. Question 2.
It was known as Italy's Range Rover and was originally designed for use by the Italian military and police under the name Magnum. What did Americans know this SUV as? And for a bonus point or 2, name the manufacturer and its Detroit-born designer.
I know this car well. This is the we called it the La Forenza, I believe it was.
Oh, La Forza.
La Forza. And yeah, it was a Magnum in Europe, and it had a Ford V8. I had this one. If I ever actually get a book published, my dedication will be to my my high school English teacher, who never believed in me for a single second, but he was so pretentious he drove one. He drove a red Forza on a high school teacher's salary. I think he inherited a lot of money. But yeah, they were kind of like contemporaries of the Range Rover. When the Range Rover first got to the US, they showed up a year or so after. So yeah, La Forza.
And the designer?
Do you know? Because I don't know that.
Tom Chiada.
Was it? All right.
Yeah,
so
I believe it was.
All right, did we get that one right?
Forza by Rayton Fisori. And yeah, Tom Chiada.
Yeah, okay. Question number 3 for the group around here. What 4x4 is known as the Iron Pig?
Oh,
yeah, I know the Iron Duke is an engine.
Iron Duke is an engine. Is it the FJ55 Land Cruiser?
I mean, that's a guess. Like, sure.
It just rings a bell. It was never known as that in Australia, but I've just got this. This sounds like an Ed Lowe question, actually.
I mean, the Iron Pig. So that would be the 4-door, the first 4-door Land Cruiser.
Yeah, the FJ55, which
had the piggy face.
Yeah, but they were unbreakable. I can remember my dad and I seeing one in the motor show in Adelaide many years ago, and we just had it. He bought a Series 2, ex-Army Series 2 Land Rover. We looked at this and we thought it was a bit too posh for a proper off-road vehicle because it had wind-up windows and a proper dash with gauges and a radio in it. I mean, it could be completely wrong. Yes.
Nice. Very good. I had no idea.
Yes. I seem to remember Ed Lowe using that term, so that's where it came from. Okay. Question number 4. Obscure 4x4s. Where on earth was the lunar roving vehicle, better known as the moon buggy, tested?
Right. So that's going to be, I mean, we could be generic and say somewhere in the American Southwest, because it was Death Valley or, somewhere in Nevada or White Sands or, somewhere like that.
Not Area 51.
Not Area 51. But I feel like Death Valley because it's a very Martian type landscape.
I have no idea.
Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna say Death Valley just seems like where you test it, right? The harshest environment on Earth. Cinder Lake, Arizona.
Have we been there?
Inside Sunset Crater Volcano. So we should have just said the American Southwest and we would have nailed it.
I like how they can just drive a moon buggy over a national monument.
What's the point of being the government if you can't do that? Okay, so next question we have is name the make and model of the first SUV by a Japanese luxury manufacturer in the U.S. That's tricky.
It is, because what Japanese luxury manufacturers, they mean Toyota, Nissan, or Honda, don't they?
Well, luxury would be no. It's accurate. Would be,
I'm just being pedantic, right?
Yeah.
They're brands. They're brands. They're not manufacturers.
Right. But that's tricky because there was that obscure. There's the Acura SLX.
Yes, which was
Isuzu Trooper 2.
Yeah, it was a rebadged Isuzu Trooper, which is probably the single most rebadged 4x4 in the world, because it was sold as a Holden, a Vauxhall Monterey, an Opel Monterey. It was also sold as a Subaru.
Was it?
I think so, and some SsangYong as well. But I think it could be, because that would predate the Infiniti QX4, which was that was about 1997.
That was a Nissan Pathfinder. And they also, Toyota did, a luxury Land Cruiser, the LX, the Lexus LX 470 was pretty early.
Ooh.
And then, yeah,
because they basically just, again, it was like a Sahara, an 80 series Sahara with a Lexus badge on it.
Yeah. But I feel like that Acura...
Yeah, that's just... flies below the radar enough.
What was good at was being first to market. Like they beat Infiniti and Lexus to the US by 2 or 3 years.
Should we go with the Acura?
I think the Acura, but boy, that's tough. We're probably way off, but that's tough.
Yeah. SLX. Yes.
Nice. All right.
Well done.
Pulled that one out, as they say.
Okay. This one should be a slam dunk for you.
Yes, I know this one very well.
Name the first prototype of what would become the Lamborghini LM002.
Well, before the 002, there was, of course, the 001. But before that, the prototype was the Cheetah. And that was a rear-engined V8. And an interesting history was that, Hummer made the H1. AM General made the Humvee. And but the reason they built that was the U.S. military put out a call, the Army specifically, saying we need a replacement for a Jeep. And Lamborghini was always in need of cash until Volkswagen bought them. And they said, hey, let's make a military vehicle. So they made this absolutely crazy, no doors, rear-engined thing called the Cheetah, which apparently would flip, it would do a wheelie and flip over when you accelerated because it was so rear-engined. And then they fixed that for the 001, and then they made the glorious 002, which I don't know if have you ever driven one of those?
I've never driven one.
I was lucky enough. I got to drive one actually for an old head-to-head video. Just the coolest thing, because it's just a torquey Countach V12, but it's tuned to be torquey with a super long throw 5-speed, and then Horatio Pagani did the interior, which is reggae themed. It's the craziest car. 8,000 pounds. 8,000 pounds.
Of course, you'd put a Lamborghini V12 engine into a Hummer.
Anyways,
okay, so I think that's round one done. Yes, the Cheetah. Yep. Absolutely. So we're through round one. I don't know whether we have a score yet
We have a score, Quizmaster.
4 out of 6.
I think we did reasonably well.
So now we move on to round 2, which is the individual challenge. So I think we've got 3 questions to ask each other. Do you want to start, or?
I can start. Sure, I'll start.
Sure.
First question of the individual round. What European people's car famously added a second engine, transmission, drive axle, and fuel tank to give it all-wheel drive?
Oh, I do know this one.
And I would say that the word famously is maybe stated in error there. I don't think this is too famous.
This is not famous at all. This is about as obscure as it gets. But I believe it was a version of the 2CV Citroen.
Right, you know the name of it.
It was called something Sahara.
Yes, yeah, perfect. Citroen, Deux Chevaux,
Sahara, and it had two mighty flat twins, one mounted at the front, and they simply flipped it over and put it at the rear.
Yeah.
But it had just one shift lever, one clutch pedal, and one throttle, and they ran the two engines off that. But you could switch one engine down, one engine off.
So 1 point for you.
1 point for me. Okay.
Shown in 1935, this Toyota truck led to the establishment of Toyota Motor Company in 1937. What is it?
Oh, I've seen it. I've actually seen this car.
In a museum in.
I think in Tokyo, with Toyota. Oh no, it's something like Splendid, but it's not Splendid. Sunshine. Oh, it's there. I don't know. I'm blanking out. I forget.
You crashed and burned on this one?
Yeah, I've seen the thing.
Yeah. Actually, the answer I have, I don't know either. Right? Okay. As if, old pre-war Toyota trucks are not a strong point, I must admit. It's called the Toyota G1, apparently.
You know where it's at? It's at the museum in the Netherlands, the Lowy or the Low Museum or whatever it is.
Right.
That guy bought it. That's where it is. But okay, right. G1. That was obscure. Good job.
Yeah,
Good job.
yeah.
That feels like a Frank Marcus question. What Italian automaker embarked on an ambitious plan to collaborate with Russia's UAZ to build 10,000 SUVs a year by 2006, but instead entered voluntary liquidation in 2004?
Which Italian company?
Italian automaker.
With UAZ.
With UAZ. And then I'll give you a further hint. It's one of those brands that kind of perennially pops up with a new product that never, ever sees the light of day.
Oh, Di Tommaso.
Di Tommaso. Exactly right.
Okay, I think you might get this one.
Okay.
Can you name the first Porsche-designed four-wheel drive vehicle?
Now that's tricky. Is it Porsche the company or Dr. Porsche?
Porsche designed. So it's not the company.
Right.
You're a big fan of this
car.
car.
Anywhere to go here, right? So
it's old. It's older than me.
Yeah. So it could be the Cisitalia Grand Prix car, which was a supercharged V12 1947.
It's pre-war.
So okay, so that 1906 diesel hybrid thing that they trotted out when they launched the Macan, or no, the Cayenne hybrid. It was a
little older.
The 1906.
Yeah, I think you're on the right track though.
It was 1906. It was a diesel hybrid. So it had a diesel motor that powered electric wheel motors, and I can't remember the name of it. It was like the Porsche hybrid diesel or so. I don't know, but I want to say it was maybe 1905. I don't know.
The answer I have, is the Lerner Porsche mixed hybrid.
Yeah, that's the one. But what
1898, 99?
No, that's a different one.
It had in-wheel motors.
Yeah, so it had a big diesel motor that generated electricity that powered the wheel motors. I didn't know about the Lister part. Or I forgot, or the Lerner. Was it Lerner or Lister?
Lerner, Lohner. We'll give you that one.
I don't know about that, but okay. All right. For your next one, the Toyota Land Cruiser famously started off as a copy of the Jeep CJ. What was Toyota's Humvee copy called?
Mega Cruiser.
That's right.
Do you know what powers the Mega Cruiser?
It's a 4-cylinder. I know it's like a 2.1 liter 4-cylinder diesel.
No, it's bigger than, that's the thing about it. It's like 4.2 liters.
Oh, is it?
It's massive.
It's a 4-cylinder.
4-cylinder.
I've never driven one. I've seen them.
Neither have I.
Great.
Sort of like a civilized Hummer.
Yeah, but apparently they were like frightfully expensive, the civilian versions, because they violated every single Japanese ordinance there was for a passenger car.
Yeah.
And you could only buy them, I believe, at the Toyota store. So that's like where you would go to buy your Century or real flagship stuff. And they were just horribly slow. Like they made Hummers look quick.
That's quite an achievement.
You got that one? Good job.
Okay. And this question is actually kind of related. Toyota wasn't the only Asian manufacturer to copy the Humvee. What other automaker and what country copied the Humvee for its military?
Boy, this is a random guess because I don't know, but let's say...
Who's good at copying?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say China, and the company would be, I don't know, Red Star.
No, it doesn't start with an R. It starts with a D.
I don't know.
And I think they built Citroens under license. They had some tie-up with Citroen at some point.
I'm stumped on this one. Like I said, the quarantine has affected my noggin. So, but it's China.
It is China, yeah.
And
it's
the
the Dongfeng.
Dongfeng, yeah.
There's no related to Dong King.
Yeah. All right. Well, you killed me on this. I think I got one and you got three on this one. So.
Yeah. Although Mr. Quizmaster says your questions were slightly harder, which is fair enough.
I don't know about that. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on then. This is the grudge match. These are the questions I came up with.
Oh,
for you, trouble. And this one is because you are from Australia, home of the Ute. But I'm going to ask you about American Utes. And Utes, remember, is Australian for a truck car, which I believe qualifies as a sport utility vehicle. The Chevy El Camino is the best known car truck in the States, followed by the Ford Ranchero, and then there's the Subaru Brat and the Volkswagen Caddy. What was Dodge's version called?
Oh.
Yes.
Well, the Valiant was called Wayfarer.
Maybe in Australia, but in the U.S., what was the Ute, the Dodge Ute called?
Very
specific name. And our friend Ralph Gilles, the head of design for FCA, I believe, he actually posted a sketch for a future version of one of these about 2 weeks ago.
Right.
I know you follow Ralph's Instagram religiously, as we all do.
Is it Kingsway?
Nope.
I'm just trying to think of a Dodge name that I would know. They didn't sell.
But The Rock recently made a movie with the same title.
No. Blanking.
Rampage.
Rampage.
Dodge Rampage. Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't count. I'm sorry. That's like saying a Suzuki Mighty Boy is a Ute.
Oh, the Subaru Brat, the Volkswagen Caddy, they're car trucks, you know.
I had it in there. That's not a Ute, mate. I'll show you a real Ute.
Now, the most interesting thing I think about the Rampage was that the Hot Wheel version of the Rampage came, for whatever reason, with a donkey standing up in the bed.
That's about all it was good for.
Okay. Your turn.
Okay. What was the first 4x4 powered by an engine that had twin cams, hemispherical combustion chambers, and a dry sump?
Oh, that's tricky.
Yeah.
That sounds all right. So who would put crazy engine tech into a 4x4? It sounds Italian to have both a dry sump and although Honda, wait a second, Honda used hemispherical combustion chambers. Can I ask, was it air or water cooled?
Water cooled. You're on the right track.
Okay.
But,
Italian?
Yep.
Was it Italian? It sounds like they would have a ton of engine tech in something that probably couldn't go over a parking pump. Alfa had that obscure little Jeep thing. Oh, was it Alfa? Yeah, the Alfa. I'm blanking on the model name, but Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, good. Yeah, the Alfa Romeo 1900M.
Yeah,
which was built for the Italian army between 1951 and 1954.
I was close. I'll give myself half a point.
Yeah.
Last one for you. All right. The Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon famously has 3 locking differentials. Name the Japanese SUV that also has 3 locking differentials. Hint, it has 4-wheel steering as well.
It's the Mega Cruiser.
It is the Mega Cruiser. Yeah. Good job. I did not think you'd get that. Good job. Wow.
Because you could get a locking diff on Land Cruisers. You can get 3.
All the Land Cruisers I could find. Couldn't find one with 3.
I'm pretty sure you could get on the 80 series. You could get top end. You could lock the front diff.
Okay, but I don't think it had 3.
Right.
No, I don't think. I mean, I did.
No, you could be right, but it was the 4-wheel steering that gave the game away.
Okay, gave it away. Yeah. So it had 4-wheel steering too. Well, very good. Very good.
Here we go. Last one.
Okay.
This 4x4 was designed by the son of the man who influenced the design of the original VW Beetle and is named after a horse.
This 4x4 is designed by the name of the man. Say the
Designed by the son of the man
yeah.
who influenced the design of the Volkswagen Beetle.
I mean, that's a really tough one because, like, there's about 50...
Well, think about it. You're very passionate about this subject.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying there's about 50 people who influenced the design of the Volkswagen Beetle.
There is one person about whom you are very passionate.
Yeah, so it's probably Hans Ludovico.
It's his son.
Yeah. Oh boy. So this 4x4 is named after a horse. So Ludovico was Tatra. So the son was Czech, but they weren't building. Well, but they were Tatra still built 4x4s.
But he escaped from Eastern Europe.
The Bronco.
It's a good little. It's a European mountain horse.
I don't know. I should know this. Now I feel bad I don't know this. I don't know.
Because they actually make another one that's also named after a horse. It's the Haflinger.
He did the Haflinger?
Yeah.
That's a horse?
Yeah. It's a little horse that goes up mountains.
I didn't know that.
Like a pin scar is. Okay, well, that was great fun. Thanks for joining in, Jonny, and thanks everyone for watching. So what do you think, mate? Should we do another round?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I'm nothing if not overly competitive for no reason whatsoever. So yeah, I hate losing. And you know, two of the ones I lost, like the Haflinger and that Porsche thing, like I know those. So yeah. I'm gonna study this time.
Yeah. All right. Until next time, thanks for joining us, everyone, and take care.